Sup, y'all? Chris Peacock Media out here doing another live. We are out here at the Lead Township building in Midland, Michigan. There was some reports of assault that happened on a member or something last meeting. So we figured we'd come out and check it out, see what's happening out here. It seems like there's some hostility going on and whatnots, and so we're going to bring it to you live. Document all this, all of our government employees, and see what happens. Stay tuned.
Hello.
Hi. Oh, excuse me. How are you? Good. How about yourself?
One guy there, he didn't like the monopoly that they had on the propane up there, so there's only a propane dealer. He started his own company, he got a couple of guys.
Something's disgusting. It's really disgusting. I'm just like, they said that to me, because I'm a rotten person.
He lived with it for about 2 years, and he just up and died. Bam, first thing happened, they put tank on. I had about 400 gallons. Burned it out. You come in, pump it up.
I'm like, oh my God. And they made it. Yeah, it was for a bridal show. One of my girlfriends is turning 70. So she is so naive, so innocent. She's bad. Bad. And you know what I'm gonna be doing. Oh, yes. How can you not? We had a party. It's a nasty kind of favor when something come up with me. What's that? We had to explain. She let Oh, okay. Yes. Oh, okay, yeah, and I got myself. All right. Yep. Perfect, perfect, Doris. Thank you. So, yeah, I totally get that cake.
There's another one as well. But it's really easy to plastic. I had one that. Yeah, that was down the way.
It's gonna be, under, clerk's station.
Oh, okay.
Some of her girls, oh, that was. Oh, this is home. Oh, okay. Is that the one at Emerson Park? No, I know. Oh, I was there. I was there. But I wasn't there serious shop.
I forgot to say.
I just got noticed it. Oh, no. That cool saved my butt. I'm not in a hurry. Okay, I thought, oh, did he? But it's like, it's not safe. Well, he could just pick up, put it in the van or whatever, measure. Yeah, I told him, he could do next year. It's stupid, but I love that bridge. Yeah, it's just a little ditch draining the swamp. Draining the swamp onto the road, but it's for my bridge. Yeah. I'm telling you, you're gonna want one if you see it. You're gonna want one. When you go visit, we're gonna say, I know you will. I'll take a picture and send it to you. I'll send it to you. Yeah, I know, I messed up. Oh, it's this coming Saturday. My girlfriend, how is it real? From. So you're. Okay.
I didn't know where it was. Like 7 o'clock, I call the meeting to order.
Before we say the pledge, I would like to amend the agenda to add the quotes from IT that you guys have. From the IT guys, there's 3 quotes there. So, can I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded to amend our agenda to add the IT quotes. So, Treasurer Pitt?
Yes.
Trustee Ryber?
Yes.
As clerk, I will say yes. Supervisor Kruger?
Yes.
And Trustee Liz?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As you will see, we do have the sheriff's office as was approved in a recent special meeting through the Midland County Sheriff's Department through the Reserve and Special Deputy Unit. Thank you.
Deb, I would like you to hand this out to Heidi, it's what she's been asking for.
All right, next on the agenda are our guests. Commissioner. Yes. If you don't mind turning on that microphone. you're pressing hold button for administration.
Yes. Yeah, there you go. Good evening, everyone. I'm Larry Schulke. I'm the county commissioner of this district. Reports and, the report from the last executive committee and meeting and where it's going in the county. Remind about the Midland County Sheriff app. It's in your app store. It's Midland County Sheriff MI. It's a really good app. They have nearly 25,000 uses per day. So available free for anyone who wants to use it. It's Midland County Sheriff, Town of Michigan is how you would search for it. So I'm gonna bring it out. Some other updates from the jail. They added some water coolers. They had some combined hot water capability. So the inmates can make things like coffee, soup, chocolate. They also added some exercise equipment in the fastened to the floor and the lock wall, so nothing would be nefarious come out of that. Now, none of this was at county taxpayer expense. This is actually how they pay for these are the profits from the canteen, as they call it. That's where people vending machines type of thing. So they're paying. It's the profits from there being used to help. I'm just mentioning this just as more content inmates leads to increased safety for them and the officers too. So it's a good thing. So the inmate count is staying stable. County services building, most people aware there's a bunch of construction going on with renovating. Last time they haven't done any renovating since it was first built of this nature. Certainly it's around I don't remember what it was, but so the door frame materials, the things were getting behind a little bit because there were some supply chain problems that's been resolved here now. So if you have to meet with different people in the building, you may find it's a little noisy. And sometimes offices have moved around. So when you go to one, you may see, oh, it's in a different place for work period. So that's going to continue. They hope to get the construction done. I think their start schedule will be done this year. But it's recognized there's some inconvenience. And of course, a lot of inconvenience for the workers there. At Pinecrest, they go at 51 of potential 60 max. Is the number of people who could be there. Practical max is 58, just because some don't get along so well with others, and so they will need some extra space between rooms. There is a part-time position that's available there at Pinecrest. And actually, speaking of positions, the county has had, there's several positions available at the county. You can just go to the Midland County website and go to the Human Resources section, and you'll see HR job postings. There's around 5 or 6 or so. So you check there if you know someone. It's a combination of both full-time and part-time. So people are looking for a position. The equalization, that's what Chris Calmer is head over, the director, was finalized and ended at, but I don't know what the last thing, I was near June. I think they mentioned that the millage that the county will levy drop just a little bit, Doesn't mean your taxes won't go up because of course property values have gone up, that's everything. But there was just a slight reduction, about 0.15%, 100,000, that's 70%. So, that's good. Pass that on. There had been any change since the 94 or so, 95, and because of some of the depreciation that came was associated with some of the windmills. GIS imagery is deliveries on schedule for a fall delivery. Remind people that in April or so they went around and did aerial photography of Midland County, and they do that about every 4 or 5 years. The last time we did it was in 2020. Now it turned out we've done it in April of 2020. Then May was, of course, the four dams failed. The company that did that imagery on their own expense redid all the imagery, so it worked out very good for the town. We had both before and after the images. So for some of the studies, they had to want all the information available, and that company did it, without being charged. So that was a nice thing that we did. They're working on doing all the quality control checks. Some of those things include, they make sure, they're taking high resolution pictures. Well, they maybe could see people's faces, so they have to block those out, license plates, things like that. So they've got to go through and make sure, okay, there won't be identifying information out. So that's what's going on right now. And so that, I think we're looking at a fall delivery, things go according to schedule, and it's looking that way. They use some drones to do the aerial photos for foreclosed property sales. And just about the property sales, these are for tax foreclosed purposes. In the past, any money that came in from those foreclosures, for those sales, went to the county, per law, but then the Supreme Court, I don't know if it was last year or just when that was, said no, if there was a gain, the gain needs to go back to the owners of the foreclosed property, which they get back if they ask for it. So, just for your information about that, the health department is reporting that measles cases continue to kind of inch up a little bit. From 900, 1168 in June. In Michigan, there have been 9 cases, went up to 10 in June. Montcalm County is where that is, and that's kind of southwest of Israel. Mosquito control is doing the nighttime treatment. She started on May 27th. And they delayed it because the weather, heating weather, was too cool. Well, that's been resolved. It's been well aware, and so they're back from that. The tire voucher trial went well, and so they're expecting to do that again in September. In fact, if people want to have some tires that they're willing to take, the geocycle over the Coleman, if you call up the mosquito control, the office is located over there in Sanford, you could get a voucher to take tires. There would be no charge for it. So you just have to contact, then they'll have an ID and give some tracking and such there at geocycle. It's only for Denton County. And so there's some things associated with that. In order that you know about that. And they hope to do some of that, some of the tire drives again next year, and they're doing this fall. So that was the things I was going to present. Are there any questions or issues people want about that? Thank you. Thank you.
Just a minute. I called on that voucher for tires, and they said sometimes in August, go back then.
Oh, so they weren't,
They're not getting them out yet, sometime in August.
okay, thank you for that update. That's good. Thank you.
All right, next on our agenda is approval of the agenda with any clerk's petitions.
I do have clerk's additions. Heidi, the water is to be paid. You're requesting it to be paid, okay?
Oh, yeah, just said you.
Yeah, well, as I'm just asking, and it's to be paid out of the water, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Okay, so then, I added the water accidentally into my general. So, give me 1 second, let me subtract it. Subtract minus. So this is what, so I attached your water bill to the general, so take that off, so general is gonna be 1,852.80. Fire is going to be 731.40, and solid waste 78.35, and then the water 444, 056.26. So that is my clerk's additions of things that need to be paid, so you started the motion, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so Supervisor Kruger made the motion to approve those, okay? So it's been moved and seconded to approve the clerk's additions to be paid in a timely fashion. So trustee Reimer?
Yes.
As clerk, I will say yes. Supervisor Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee List?
Yes.
And treasurer Pitt?
Yes.
Okay, motion carried.
Next on our agenda is the consent agenda, which consists of approval of the June 13th, 2025 special board meeting minutes, approval of the bills for fire, payroll, solid waste, general, water, as well as the treasurer's report. Any discussion on any of the bills or board meeting minutes?
On the special minutes, it says that there was a motion made, but there's no second and no vote.
Let me see, I don't have my written for me.
The bank reconciliations to be done under fiduciary responsibility says you made a motion. But there's no second.
Okay. So, what was that declaration? It could have been, I just wanted it stated. So that would be not really making a motion, change it to making a statement, my apologies. So,
So does that mean that you're doing the June bank recs for those 5 accounts?
the June, we meant the end, so you had
I've
already
done it.
started.
They're not reconciled, but I
Well, I can look at them, yes, I can take the June. So I will correct that from motion to statement. Okay,
In the approval of the bills under fire, you had made a mistake, you didn't make a mistake, you made a comment, my apologies, about an EPR and the charter spectrum. So it will appear for this month, that is over budget, and we will move that,
Okay.
we'll correct that.
that's what I wanted to know. So the motion, had been started, or no, Treasurer Pitt just asked the question, so we do not have the motion yet to pay the bills.
I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented with the change to the
Minutes.
minutes.
Okay, trustee Ryder seconded it. So it's been moved in second to approve the consent agenda with the change in the minutes from making a motion to making a statement. So as clerk, I will say yes. Supervisor Kruger,
Yes.
trustee List,
Yes.
treasurer Pitt,
No,
and trustee Ryder. Yes. Motion carried.
Okay, next on our agenda is the fire report. We'll have to do that. That's what we will, we can, there's.
Will he be paid?
Yeah, they know. You know, he ran around a run.
Okay.
So he was given, printed something out, didn't you?
Yes, I know. There's just so much stuff. There's a lot. I saw it too. And he sent me something in an email also.
Here it is, I have it, all right. Good. So, Lee Township had 29 runs, fires with 6 runs, medical response with 18, traffic 5. Greendale Township had 15 runs, that consisted of 4 fires, 5 medical, and 6 traffic incidents. Mutual aid, there's 4, which all consisted of fires. A total of 48 incidents in the month of June. Any questions?
Can you turn the microphones up so these guys can hear a little bit more?
So
They're struggling.
these are set, we can't move the speakers past number 5 or it will squeal.
The only
So
thing
we
we
can-
could do is this, and then it's gonna be
Yeah, I don't know
squealing.
if that's any
So
better.
if
They
you
don't-
really truly cannot hear, I can't talk any louder than this, my throat is scratched.
That would work perfect.
But you're welcome to come closer.
Come closer
Yeah.
if you would like. I had a statement that I was going to, or I received this from Robin, and I'm not sure exactly what we are to do. I was gonna ask Chief. So I'm not quite sure if there's something we have to do for that, or
You're meeting with Robin tomorrow, right?
it got changed to the week later.
Yeah,
So,
that's
but
a
this
cheap,
is
but-
due by July 30th, so I will call, yep, I will call him and ask him.
All right, next on the agenda is the planning commission and zoning administrator.
Yes, the planning commission will be meeting, this Wednesday, from, 7 o'clock. As the board is aware, we are down 1 member right now due to the resignation of our chairperson. So, the topic of discussion at this next meeting will be, private roads, discussing pros and cons of putting in place a private road ordinance and what that may entail. So, and that would be private road chapter within the zoning ordinance, I should say. So, as always, and I have to say, things have quieted down dramatically. We don't have hardly anyone showing up anymore for our planning commission meetings. And we urge people to come. These are important conversations and we value people's thoughts and opinions. So, having said that, that's what we have. Any questions? We did not meet this last month, and so, not a lot.
And your next meeting is?
This Wednesday, July 16th. Yes, 16th. I'm getting the meeting markers stuck in my head. You're at the 16th.
Okay, thank you, Russ. Next on the agenda is the cemetery report.
So we have markers that have been placed at the cemetery. I believe the section D has all been marked. And so we're progressing. I'm not sure what their aim is for the next one, but that's gonna be coming soon. We have an updated burial rules fees that I'd like to go over, whether we have to vote on or just simply have it in folder. I'm not sure what it needs to be.
And choice if he's putting it on us.
So I have new rates basically from the sexton. The only thing I want to add is that the burial transit permit, would like it to be left in a lockbox in the entry of the chapel, which means we have to purchase a lockbox to put in there. That way, when they do transfer a burial, casket burial, they can have a commit to put right in there and then I can collect it from there.
Okay.
And I'm in the process of making a cemetery guidebook so that everything is organized in one folder. It's been a challenge to keep everything straight, so it doesn't put together entirely yet, but that way it makes things a little easier to understand and to follow. And I guess that's, oh yes, mapping. The mapping at the chapel, Kelly Seibel has offered mapping that's very similar, layout is very similar to the computer layout. So we're looking at that, and then when it's time, I'll give them a updated database for them to print from. And then we can put that inside the chapel so people can see the mapping of the actual plots.
Current up to date.
Yes, as far as there are lots of changes we make along the way, so we want to make this so that it is easily changeable.
Spikes are in, but I'm thinking there's one more box to come to complete the order.
Okay.
So because there were only 4 of the 40s available, and that wasn't enough, so then I had to order, the 20s.
Okay.
we're
So she's
missing
talking about, as far as the markers, we have the round markers that they have been stamping the numbers, and then the
Spike.
spikes will drive the markers into the ground. And they're putting 2 markers per lot on one side and the other side, so that you'd like to typically think that you could measure out from point A to point B, but sometimes that's not always perfect. Several years of many people patrolling the cemetery, they're doing the best that they can, and there's a lot of questions whether there's anything in the ground there or not, but they're working through it. So we're making some positive moves.
Thank you.
Thank you, trustee Ryder.
You're welcome.
Code enforcement report. 2023-01. This one, they're going to get an additional letter, because I've left messages on 310, 421, 512, 65, and 714 with no response. So another letter will be sent, preferably with a request for $500 fee associated with it. So hopefully I can get a response if we have a ticket, so to speak. 02-2024-01, they've removed additional vehicles, they're working to finish the forms and foundation. This is a 2-part complaint, to address, to parcel. So we're getting some done here and some done there in the process, so it's been quite an undertaking. 2025-01, so this actually has developed into a potential zoning issue. I've talked to Russ about this particular issue. They have received 2 letters, there's been no response. An additional communication was drafted on Sunday, and I meant to send it today, but didn't get out, so it will get sent tomorrow. 03-2025-01, this was a dog barking concern and it's been managed, no further action is required, so this will come off our list. 05-2025-02, a second communication will also be sent out tomorrow. This is a burned oak camper, as well as other items. So there's been no response from the first communication. And that ends the code enforcement report. Next on the agenda is the hall update. I know D&D asphalt, they've restriped all of the parking places, parking lot for free. They had done this last year at the end of season, just before the election. It was rather vague. So they knew at that time that the striping likely wouldn't hold. So they did come on a couple weeks ago and restriped for free. And it looked great. They did a great job. Other than that, I can't think of anything right off the bat other than the IT guys that will get to.
You know, this is my correspondence, but, when the DPW do the hall here, thank you, Ms. Courtney. The soap is out in the women's bathroom, and there may be a toilet that is continuing to run. This was from Saturday.
And I think Dory actually, it was her. So James is normally the one that does the cleaning. He was on vacation, Ron did it, and he missed those things.
Okay,
Thank you.
that's what it is.
I think there was some transfer, please.
There's usually supposed to be in the kitchen
An
cabinet,
extra.
extra
I couldn't put
of
it.
all
Okay.
supplies, so you didn't see any. All right. So maybe we can,
We can change and make sure that that's stocked.
sorry about that.
Yes, apologies. All right, park update. The park committee team continues to work through the Sparks grant. The equipment has been ordered. And don't know if we have a delivery date. Was it September maybe?
September, we're looking at their calendar to get it started in either late September to early October.
Other than that, I think that we're just plugging through the requirements of the DNR Sparks grant as a team.
So you said you needed copies of this, so tonight remind me what
Yes.
is the other.
I'll go.
So remind me before we leave, I'll get you copies.
All right, I don't believe we had any unfinished business from the prior meeting. Moving on to new business, we have a planning commission letter of intent.
Somewhere in these, all these papers.
Oh, great. All right, so Mrs. Courtney Clute reached out regarding her interest in becoming a planning commission member. And she's provided some background, she's been a resident, long-term resident. I've known Courtney since kindergarten, preschool, so, a few years. She has history with, working with the Township Planning Commission, as well as Homer Township Planning Commission, from the resident and business owner perspective. Any questions
I
regarding?
don't have questions, but I'm just. I'm in awe.
And this would be-
I'm lifting you up. You are, extremely, you should be appreciated wherever you go. So this is very, very, and I love the conversation that came about because of this. So,
And this is to finish off Greg's term.
This will be the finished, yes, the current chair.
and I didn't even look.
And this isn't for the chair role.
Right.
Oh, you don't want it?
Necessarily.
I didn't look. No, see when his expires, but we can, Courtney, it's out on the board, I can look so we can let you know if it's approved.
So if there's no other questions, I'd like to make a motion to approve Courtney Clute as the next planning commission.
I'll second that.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded to approve Courtney Clute to be on the planning commission effective today, correct?
Yes.
So through Mr. Babcock's term, and I almost feel like it's this December.
That's what you-
I feel like it's this December, but I could be.
I can't remember which one his, this boy, I can't remember.
Are you looking at this?
Yes.
He's not on this side.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
well,
so
then
we
we'll
will
have to.
find, so I will put the date in, but it's through his term, and it's always December 31st, and it's out on the board in the law.
Period.
Sorry. I
No.
don't-
No, that's okay.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded. Supervisor Kruger,
Yes.
Trustee List,
Yes.
Treasurer Pitt,
Yes.
Trustee Reimer,
Yes.
and as clerk, I say yes. So,
Welcome.
welcome. So I'll have a few papers I'll need to get with you to.
And I just sent her the agenda and everything was like.
Yeah.
Good deal, efficient. So, yay.
All right, next on our agenda is review of meeting cadence. So there's been some questions regarding the method and type of meeting cadence that the board utilizes. And I wanted to remind the residents and the board that in 2022, we decided to utilize a hybrid Robert's Rules of Order meeting cadence. I've spoken with MTA, which is Michigan Township Association. There are no parliamentary standards or requirements for a meeting cadence from a township perspective. As long as the board agrees to a business meeting format, which we do,
They've also indicated there are very few actions by the board that are actually required for a full vote. So we're overvoting, which is fine, but if the board wishes, we can absolutely draft a meeting rules of engagement and standardize our meeting cadence in that manner, similar to what Water District does. So Water District, they don't follow Robert's Rules of Order. They have their own meeting cadence or rules of engagement, so to speak. So there's no cut and dry cookie cutter requirement for township municipalities from a meeting cadence perspective. Okay, moving on, chapter 5 and 6 of the zoning ordinance. So chapter 5, we reviewed a bit in June about parking. Are there any discussion points in chapter 5? So from a resident perspective, the planning commission has proposed a new zoning ordinance, which consists of 11 chapters, and we are reviewing 1 to 2 chapters every month for we're not approving it, we're reviewing it, making suggestions, we can make the changes prior to approving it as a whole. Any discussion from the board on chapter 5 on parking?
I have no questions on chapter.
I do not. If not, we can move to chapter 6, to the sign ordinance. So I had a couple of questions. And I did go and search a couple of MCLs about this because I wasn't sure. The first one, I didn't know if I liked the word ugliness on 6.1. I'm not sure where that came from. We might be able to spiff that up a little bit.
You want to spiff it up?
A
Okay.
little bit. We might be able to change the.
That's okay.
I don't disagree with you.
No,
And then,
I take no offense. Mark it up. Do what you want. That's okay.
3G, no sign may display obscenity, obscene material, and there was an MCL, which I Googled, because of First Amendment free
Yes.
speech. So we've had some complaints in the past on different banners or flags that some may think are obscene. So I wondered how this was different.
It's a real tough, I mean, even the more general statement, if you're dealing with signs and freedom of speech, it gets very.
But and flags are exempt, I've learned. When we go and read some of this, flags and banners,
Yeah.
some of those are exempt from sign ordinances, but obscenity misuse.
Because there was one, just up the road that had
Yes.
bad language.
Yes.
We had called on it and we were told, nope, there's nothing we can do about it. It gets to stay.
Are you talking about signs in people's yards?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I know, it's,
So we're not talking business signs, this
Yeah,
is signs in
no.
people's yards.
yeah, people are becoming more and more vocal on their.
Flags and banners.
Yes.
I guess why we regulate personal signs in people's yards.
Well, I like number 5, indoor signs. Where did that come from? Like indoor, stadium or?
Yeah, a lot of this came from, sorry, hello,
What?
yeah,
It was
a lot of this
before,
came
it
from
was
the,
before your
actually, a lot of this came from, was already in place, and it's, a lot of it is, it's one of the chapters that you're gonna have to, if you especially do want to impose restrictions, you're gonna have to be very mindful of First Amendment issues that come into
This was
play.
created by an attorney
Back in the day,
in 20.
and it may have been 20, but I'm just saying, it's going to be
It
very,
was for sure 20.
yeah,
course you remember.
So Lindsay didn't go with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they even had that rock in place.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, if you're gonna further
You had
restrict
a rock
it,
at the end of your driveway.
so if you're gonna do anything at all, I would not further restrict it without consulting the attorney, because you're gonna run into potential issues. If you're gonna, if you're thinking about reducing the restrictions, that's different. That's what you want to do.
Well, as we kind of talked a little bit prior here, as far as the signs exempt from permitting, is that, wondered about residential being personal interest sign, not just banners, but actual like homestead signs or address signs.
Your address at the end of your driveway, that to me doesn't seem like it should need an ordinance, need approval from the zoning administrator.
I agree. Personally.
I could suggest that we add that in there to like number 9, because there's 8 items that are exempt from permitting, and maybe we add in a line saying residential or personal interest signs.
Yeah, however, mark it up, however you guys want, you can eliminate it, whatever you
I
do.
said residential, comma, personal interest. And then I gave a couple examples so that, you know, name, address. So,
Or rock at the end of your driveway.
or,
To me, there should be no reason they can't.
sure. What do y'all think?
I agree.
Yes.
Okay.
I would
So
like
I
to
think
see
we
that
can,
line.
again, we're not
Not
voting.
that we're voting on it,
Right,
but
But
something,
we can add that in.
something you can take to the planning commission.
I agree with that, and I'm not sure I have other restrictions. Not that I want to see the same thing, but I'm very weary of studying on that.
And by the way, I'm always willing to, if you guys give me a draft of what you guys want, what you're thinking about changes, I can make those changes so that you guys can re-look at it once the changes are made.
So Russ, things have changed from my day, so now, do you have an application? Because the next.
We have a simple, for residential, it's a simple application.
Okay.
But again, if you guys are really interested, I can see that. I mean, I quite frankly think that would make, I don't think it makes a lot of sense like me. But again, that's just my personal opinion.
Well, I mean, otherwise we have a lot of people with compliance.
There's enough restrictions, and I feel like if somebody really is putting a sign out there that is vulgar, really, maybe that's their mentality, I don't know.
Well, it's not
And
unique.
how can we really enforce it? The only thing we can do is talk to our children and
That's to
grandchildren.
protect your
And-
rights.
I say it's not a mentality, it's our rights. to
No,
put what
I'm
we want
just
on our
saying,
property.
if someone wants to put Vogel,
Well, right, but
That's
saying
right.
mentality is not okay.
well,
What?
Co-
They can do that.
Cohen v.
That's my
Cohen v.
opinion.
California.
that's my opinion, your opinion is different.
Well, I'm just telling you, it's a protected right, and you can't stop.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I agree.
You're not understanding me,
If
you're understanding
There's
it
a
backwards.
Michigan law about it as well, that says what obscene means, right? Because that was my question, is what does obscene mean? And they've got 3 bullet points on what obscene means. No examples, but what it means.
Still protected. I just don't.
It does, yes, I agree. So I don't understand why, that was why I called that out. I didn't understand. I mean, based on the interaction we had with the flag, how anything can say
That you can't.
that you can't, yes,
Well, see,
because
what's offensive to one might not be offensive to the other.
Right.
We just kind of go across the board and do our thing.
Trying to regulate personal yard signs, I think, is gonna be problematic at best.
Yeah. I think you guys are on the right path.
So I just have a few options, a few changes that we can make and discuss next month. So let's make some changes and review the signs again. So 6, and we'll look at 7
Okay.
next month as well.
And so if you guys wanna put together, I'll be glad to work with someone on make those changes, so you guys can see a clean draft with those changes.
No, because I just feel like there's enough rules and regulations, and sometimes it's, you know.
Red
Yeah.
tape.
Yeah.
Yeah. So next month, we'll look at chapter 7 special use permits.
Okay.
Which is a fairly lengthy, it's 9 pages. All right, any further discussion on the zoning ordinance, chapter 5 or chapter 6? For this month? Okay, if not, moving on. Next, we have a blight ordinance draft. So I sent this out, I guess that's when I sent it out late, it was Saturday or Sunday. So by no means am I expecting that we make a decision tonight on this blight ordinance. I'm hoping for some additional conversation. I had highlighted some areas to review for folks.
So I thought the original problem with the blight ordinance was it had too many things that couldn't be enforced.
So this is
So
hot
we-
off the press from our attorney with some added verbiage. So based on that, this should be enforceable.
And we're gonna enforce all of it. Is that the plan?
Or it's unequal enforcement.
Where do we get a copy of that?
Yeah, I'd like to see it.
I'd like to see what I have.
It's in a draft form, but we can absolutely get you a copy of this. So this incorporates so right now our current ordinance is, if we go to court with it, it's unenforceable. It is what it is, right? This one, per our attorney, and the only changes that I made were, let's just say, added a privacy fence, because that was a discussion point, and I brought that up to the board. Again, we can keep it, we can get rid of it. The original, or what most municipalities that work with our attorney, they do not allow any junk vehicles in their yards. So, made some modifications to that, because that is not our community. They had in there the height of your grass for non-agricultural homes. So again, there's been some cutting and changing and trying to fit our community into 5 pages.
This is an HOA.
And a lot of communities are, and that's not my
Right.
expectation, but
How would you be able to enforce someone having tires that squeals? Or a motorcycle that's too loud?
What is too low?
There's a fine
Just
line.
the same way as noise.
Yeah.
It would be the same way as noise.
No, I
Again,
mean-
it's a.
So basically, as long as it doesn't occur.
So let me ask you this,
between
Heidi,
7
what would you like it to say?
This board was talking about, they didn't like all these ordinances, they didn't like all the restrictions, and
I
I'm just
agree.
surprised that you guys would
I,
change this to,
I agree.
You guys would change this?
I agree.
yes.
You know
No,
what?
this is not.
We've
you
been
guys.
doing this for 4 months.
I know, but.
4 months. And we've gotten no further. I'm just wondering why.
So I didn't receive any feedback from you, so I guess I'm wondering why.
Because I worked hard on that draft with the number of people.
That
who
draft
this
is identical to our current version, almost word for word.
It was 3 pages and I cut out 90% of the other stuff. Ask Ron.
Okay, we will table this until next month.
Excuse me, can I make a comment?
Certainly.
I would suggest you look into Hope Township's recent court case regarding blight in the
Hope?
ordinance.
You said?
Hope Township cost them a lot of money and a whole lot of grief,
It does,
and they took out that ordinance completely.
it does
Because
cost a lot of
they
money.
did not want the township to have to be responsible for that.
I have spoke with Mills Township supervisor on several accounts, and the previous supervisor in Greendale Township about their blight and basically that it bankrupt the township to move forward with these. I totally understand. From a board perspective, we're in the middle because we have people that want
Yeah.
a manicured lawn.
Yeah.
And we have people that will turn their head the other way and don't care what their neighbors have. So it's a fine line of trying to ride the middle of this. We have people that complain that live 2 miles away from an area that submit complaints because they drive by something and they don't like it.
And they should take it to court
They should look
themselves.
out the other
It
window.
should be their problem, not our problem, not the board's problem.
You got
I
people that
agree.
just ride around looking for stuff.
Yeah.
Look out your other damn window, never mind what the neighbor's got. I don't get it.
That's
You know what I'm saying?
many, but there are many the other way.
She brought up a motorcycle, that's a means of transportation, and they are allowed.
What is too loud for a motorcycle? What is,
Why is that?
The one question I have on it is,
I mean,
like he's talking about a motorcycle. What if it's somebody from Homer Township on the way to Mount Pleasant and they go blaring down through our back roads? How can we enforce something like that for someone who's?
we spend a lot of money making our bikes sound like that.
Oh.
Well, maybe that's something that we take a look at.
Well, that's why we're having this discussion.
That's
The
right.
police, the police wave at us when like we go by, you guys are
They're not
gonna
right
give us
loud to.
ordinance tickets over it? I mean, come on. Can't we all just get along?
Too many Karens, too many people that are nosy and everybody else is busy. That it is,
I mean-
it is.
Really, I mean,
People that have nothing better to do than drive in circles, picking fights.
And it seems to be about a 50-50 mix. And I know I got some interesting looks and comments when I previously said that I would be fine throwing them out of the window because they're very difficult to enforce. Like you said, Hope has removed their blight.
Okay,
I
because of
thought-
money, because
So what's your recommendation then?
Excuse me?
I'm behind you. What's your recommendation then?
For,
The blight, do you have any
you're
recommendation?
here for 1 minute, Lee Township, you're gonna go around cleaning up people's scrap cars, at least 60% people, that's what they got. We live in the country for a reason. We wanna be left alone.
This has been in place for a long time.
I get some of it.
And it's only like by complaints. If your neighbors are fine with, let's say, your own yard, you're happy with it,
I don't care if my neighbor stacks them 12 feet high.
Not our business.
but
Yeah.
not everyone thinks that way, to be
So
honest.
they-
Right,
what
but
I'm
it,
asking-
what is my neighbor, what you guys were talking about earlier, somebody shouldn't be driving around here and just look at, oh, look at that.
Well, we have it happening past my house.
But you
Somebody
guys need to
that
set
I
a
know
radius, if you're the
keeps
neighbor,
driving past, looking to see if I'm doing something so that they can report it to somebody else. Now, come on.
if it ain't their neighbor, it shouldn't concern
I
us.
personally don't care what you do in your yard. And
That's
that's,
my
that's the way we
feeling too.
should
It's
be,
my yard.
right.
It's my yard.
So
You
does
pay
that
taxes.
be drafted up differently to where it has to do with a spillover effect of like, okay, if it crosses a property line or it gets within X number of feet of the road where it could be a hazard to someone not on the property itself.
See, so you have this side and then you have this
Well,
side.
no, because I'm
What's
looking at
happening?
parks
Well, I
per
agree
road.
with them, I'm saying within the property lines, if you're staying to yourself, do what you want on your property. But if it becomes an issue to where it's a spillover onto
I can see that if somebody's piling
neighboring
stuff on
properties
your.
or public ways.
Well, there was something, kind of what you're saying, let's say you have some, vehicles that aren't being used and they're in the, or let's say a trailer of some sort, something that's in the yard, not being used, grass is growing around it. But then you have animals that are housing themselves in there that is always staying on your property and you're okay with it, but the animals trapped. So let's say, a group of raccoons, they're there, they start to meander to the neighbors. So now the neighbors will say, they're living in your trailer or housing or car that's sitting there, so then that's the when they become concerned, so.
That's what last.
That's
I know, and we definitely are, we're in the middle, we hear both sides and we hear you and we can align with what you're saying, but we're trying to stand.
I don't wanna bother anybody, but I don't want them bothering me neither. You know,
We lived there
Leave me
15
alone.
years being left alone. We don't want to start being bothered now.
leave my pipes alone.
You're early. Is that what you're being?
Yes.
You're like, yeah.
So that I've made a note, so I'm gonna look at that, and maybe that'd be something that we,
Maybe we can, I would be totally open to dumbing this down as much as possible.
It's down to 2 pages in that draft.
Like, don't bother me and I won't bother you.
There we are.
Your neighbor, your neighbor.
That's 90% of Lee Township. Leave each other alone. You'll be happy.
That's what it really is. I mean, I can see, like she says, if somebody's spilling stuff over on your property and stuff, I understand that.
but even then it's not a township thing to enforce, that would be a civil matter.
Correct.
Yeah.
What about the garbage cans out on the side of the road every week? Where's that from? Is that white or that's okay, it's okay, where's it?
Well, they're blight when they get smashed.
Stuff all on the ground in a lot of places and people put stuff out there that won't fit the cans, I mean, that's white.
Yes.
Yeah.
Needs to be looked at.
I enforce it.
Right. All right, next on the agenda, we will table this and come back next month. All right, so we, next on the agenda is personal use of township property policy. So there are three draft policies, they're stapled together for review. One of which completely eliminates any personal use of township equipment to be utilized by township employees. It may result in disciplinary action and up to and including termination of employment. The second one is personal use of equipment, vehicles, and labor is prohibited unless given prior written authorization by the supervisor or who can put a designee. The use is law, and the township is reimbursed for any expense incurred by way of personal use of township property. And the third one is much longer. And it is, you are charged with responsibility for the proper care and use of township property and equipment and are accountable for property or equipment issued to you in the course of your employment. You are subject to discipline up to and including termination of employment for damaging township property or equipment through carelessness or negligence. You must report any damage or loss of property equipment to blank. After use, township property or equipment shall be properly serviced and or repaired and returned to the customary place of storage to be ready for immediate reuse in the future. Likewise, property or equipment should be checked prior to use and ensure proper working condition. Property or equipment is in need of repair or maintenance, immediately report it to the blank. Employees may not use any township property or equipment for personal use except with prior written authorization from blank. Any employee who removes township property or equipment from township premises for personal use and without permission is subject to discipline up to and including termination of employment. So these are three different options, again, received from the township attorney for our review. Any questions or comments on these policies?
I'm kind of liking the long ones. Because there's sometimes there are exceptions to the rule, so that's allows for that discretion. I do like, where it kind of puts a little responsibility on the employees to maybe try to be more attentive or however, when using equipment. And that kind of brings it to the.
And it still requires approval and option to use the equipment.
Yes.
So through discussions with our insurance provider, they indicated that yes, some municipalities do allow employees to utilize township purchased equipment. The caveat with that is, once it leaves the township's possession, our insurance is not, from a liability perspective, it's not covered. So if you hook up a trailer to your personal vehicle, it takes the insurance from that personal vehicle. They don't have the
It's an
correct coverage.
extension of
It's an
your
extension of
vehicle.
theirs. No longer is township liable.
What if they have not real good insurance and
Right.
we're not, it doesn't cover if they say they totally destroy what they've taken, they've been in an accident.
Right.
How are we to be reimbursed?
Right, so there does seem to be, there does need to be someone overseeing as far as any kind of permission to see that those things are in line.
So what you're saying is if we don't have the proper equipment and we bring in a personal vehicle to help do a project, that also needs to stop as well, because you're saying it's not being insured.
I will say yes.
It wouldn't be insured by the township, correct?
Right.
No, the trailer would no longer be insured, so that means we're gonna have to do
I didn't say that at all.
You did.
No,
If
no,
it's
no,
driven by a personal vehicle,
I said it will take the coverage of that.
Theirs, it's an
Their
extension of theirs.
Correct.
It no longer is
but
covered
we've
by the
had lots
township.
of limitations on our equipment, and we've brought in personal vehicles to pull the trailer to do something or pull the equipment. So that needs to stop as well, because you're saying it's not covered.
I would say yes, it would have to be, I would.
I'm just clarifying.
Because like she said, realistically, if I took my truck and pulled the trailer and I'm gonna haul something for the township, yeah, it is behind my truck, I
It
might.
was your coverage.
Right,
But we just need to remember that,
Yes.
because in our
That's-
projects and what we purchase, we need to remember that in, because we'll have to rent equipment.
And at the end of the day, from a lawsuit perspective, who are they going to go after? If anyone knows anyone that's been in a lawsuit, they go after.
We just rent the equipment, it's not a problem.
Deb, I think your scenario might be a little different. Because if you were using your truck, the township trailer, but you were doing township business, your truck would be covered under the township insurance because you're doing something for
No.
the township. Yes,
No.
yes,
No.
ma'am.
We'll need to get
That might need clarification.
We'll do
If
it.
I'm driving my vehicle and I'm going to a township event,
There is something.
the insurance covers my vehicle if I am in an accident.
There is something.
So you're-
for that,
Yes.
remember, we'll have to get
Okay.
clarification.
Christie has something to say.
Oh,
Sorry.
You forgot?
So you're meaning if I am a township employee, so I'm not an elected official, I'm an employee, and I take the trailer home to load up cement chunks for Russ, and I get into an accident and I don't have enough coverage and I feel until they're pulling it, you're screwed.
Yes.
Correct.
But if Russ does it, because Russ is a township official, elected or employee or whatever, and he's moving the cement blocks to the cemetery for tombstones
Yes.
under your direction with his car, and he gets into an accident, it would be covered because he's doing township business.
I was asking if I had an insurance carrier.
Yeah.
I believe I did, because we wanted to know if we went on training and there was an accident and we used our own vehicle.
I'll call Ken and
And
verify.
I believe I did years ago, and that's what he told me, but please, by all means.
Things change.
Yeah.
Yeah, things change, I think that would be good to know.
It's in the policy, it'd be in the policy itself, you should go with that.
And I believe too, if we were to do this and the person didn't have the insurance, we possibly could make them take a rider out. I don't know. Would that be a possibility? You know, how when you do a U-Haul,
But-
that extra
But I
insurance?
think what Heidi's point was, is if she and Mark bring their truck down, our tires won't handle it,
Mhm.
and they're doing township business, and there's a problem, then is the township covering her truck? Or is her insurance covering her truck? And who's recovering the trailer because it's a township business?
Right.
If I'm understanding what you were asking.
That was the
Okay,
question.
I will call Ken, I will get that answer.
Did you get a chance to?
I did, I left him a message.
I sent him
don't
an
think he
email
was on
days ago.
vacation.
Yeah, I sent him an email days ago, I have not heard. So let's table this until next month, when we have the answers to those questions.
I will get hold of Ken.
All right, next on the agenda is the 2023 audit update. So I know folks have been waiting for the F-65 report. Well, you'll have to wait another month. So we have been hounding, I have stacks of emails. We have been hounding our auditors for months to try to get this, and I've been hopeful the last couple of weeks. I wanted them to have the F-65 and the audit results for tonight's meeting. They sent me a note on Thursday of last week that was not going to happen until August. So basically, the township they have other priorities, other customers, other clients, that they're fitting in the township audit work in between other agreed-upon timelines. So it will be another month before we're able to have the 2023 audit updates. Not for lack of trying and lack of communication.
And they said they have everything in.
Yes, they, 2 months ago or better, that, I followed up and they said, we have everything we need from Laura, from Heidi. It's just simply a timing issue at this point. Is that what everyone else understood from the board, from the email? Yes. All right, moving on to the 2024 audit discussion. So, one of the questions that was asked of Andrew Cooper, who is our current auditor, of many, I think we have 7 outstanding questions that we don't receive answers to, is what the cost would be to complete the 2024 audit. And if they have time available, and again, crickets, and sending out reminders in crickets, nothing. We were getting quick responses, and then all of a sudden, a couple weeks ago, just right. So I know that Trustee List, and I believe Treasurer Pitt may also have went out to market to see if we have any audit options and suggestions for 2024.
For, not the one we
No, for next
For the one
year.
that- Yeah, I reached out, I called several townships, found out who their auditors were talking to. And the one that I got the best reviews on was Old Wybanga out of Mount Pleasant. I reached out to them several times. They stated that they could, if we made a decision tonight, that they believe they could have this year's audit done and the F-65 file by the end of September of this year on time. They are aware of the issues we have with the bank recs not being done. They are aware of, everything. For the standard audit, they quoted us $14,125, which is, I think, on par of what we've been paying. If there's any other assembly work, such as helping with or doing the bank recs or any other outside of audit scope work, they charge $140 an hour. And that would be billed separately.
No, we already paid over $5,000 extra for them to have to do the work they had to do this year for the audit for 23, 24.
Our current provider.
So that puts it right in the same ballpark.
So, yeah, it's, I don't see it as far as, from a talking straight cost perspective, I don't see a difference of much, like I said, between what we're paying Andrews,
Cooper,
and, I did not have any correspondence with our current auditors up until 4 or 6 weeks ago when I started.
Yep.
Counting them. And they have not been good response. So far, the gentleman at Old Bank has been fantastic. He's reached out several times, just trying to see if any decisions have been made. And again, I understand communication to get a job, and communication once you have it can be different. But considering it's taken this long to get our current one, I personally would prefer not to use our current auditors for another year. I would much prefer to go outside. The only quote I have is this one. I do not know if Treasurer Pitts has any, because I know she'd asked, I don't know if she has.
I dropped it.
Okay, so,
Do we really have very many options?
no, I don't think we do. I mean, and considering I don't feel that this price is out of line with what we have. You know, what we've paid in past years, I don't find this price out.
Can I ask what townships have used that company and did they get any like reviews as to how their communication has been with them because they are a current customer?
I know Wheeler Township uses them, and they had nothing but glowing things to say. They get responses, they have people come out for a bit, they get hold of them, and they've never had late fines. And, I'm trying to remember the other township that told me that they used them and they had similar things to say, but I'm drawing a blank on which township. So I'm sorry.
Yeah, they continue, basically good reviews.
Yes, they were both very happy with them and have used them for years and they've not had any issues. I mean, if something's found, it's brought to them, they work on it together to get it fixed, but yes, it has not been.
Did they have a tentative date of when they could start?
They said that if we, whether me, you, Doug, whichever one of us sitting up here, were to reach out to them and say, yes, the board approved hiring you, they would start to get scheduled, and he said that within a couple of weeks, they could have us in their schedule.
Because we gotta get the adjustments made to 23, 24 before we can do anything for financial reporting for 25, report time. So we can't schedule them too quick because of that.
Well,
This has still gotta get finished.
we could still get them started on other stuff, or at least get them in our, have them get us in their schedule. And if they can't start till August 15th, yeah, they might not be done by September 30th, but that would not be a them issue. And it wouldn't be August of next year till they're done.
So the second piece of this, we want to take advantage of their pricing for the reconciliation.
I have paperwork here, but I'm not gonna pull it out. I spent, how many hours did we spend there? Quite a few.
No idea, I didn't track it.
Quite a few hours, and,
Over several nights.
yeah. My position does not require me to be a tax person. I'm not a numbers person. I will do the bank recs because it is my responsibility, but I want them cleared up before I take that responsibility back on. So if I need to make a motion to hire this company to get our bank recs back where they need to be,
No,
so I
this is
will,
regarding
I will
missing
so do
entries.
so. Excuse me, I'm speaking.
But this is regarding missing entries. This is not about you getting them corrected on tax stuff. This is missing entries that need to be entered. That's all it is. Why would we pay somebody outside to do that?
So I would say the feedback from Andrews, Hooper, and Pavlik, my understanding is it's probably more than that, because they had explained that entries were put in and either Heidi would delete them or that they were being deleted by someone. It's in the email from them.
That was for January, February, and March, because they said, I need you to do whatever you can to get it done. But every month, I send Laura the exact entries. MERS entry's missing, Centaz is missing,
What was your?
Amazon is missing, deposit, or not a deposit, payroll stuff is missing. It's entries that are missing, plain and simple. If they would be made, solid waste is 2 months out because it doesn't have the GFL entries. That's it. If I can get those entries put in, GFL will match for 2 months. That's simply what it means.
I didn't look at recent ones because we can't balance recent ones to go back all the way back.
You can balance solid waste if you take a look at solid waste.
Okay.
The last 2 months cannot reconcile because they are missing GFL entries that I gave to Laura to make, and they're not being made. Simple. It takes 5 minutes, make 1 entry a day. I realize you don't feel good. Make 1 entry a day.
I think it's a little more serious than that, though.
Guys, I've done accounting all my adult life, but this is not that
we're
difficult.
looking-
It's an entry.
Point of order now. I had the floor, I was talking.
Well, you go
and
ahead and talk.
You took off over me. Now, this is enough.
Who's in charge here?
Thank
What
you.
do we want to do with? How do we want to proceed?
Okay,
We have two things. The first thing is 2024.
Okay, let's start with the audit.
Yes.
I would like to see us hire this firm for the audit. We can take the next step and discuss bank recs, that's a whole separate issue. But for the price they're charging, the communication I've had and the feedback I've had on them, I mean, my opinion, and this might not be a good way to say it, I don't think it's gonna be this won't happen. And with the feedback I've had, I would expect that once they can get started, that they will move quickly. He knows the situation.
Yeah.
I've had multiple phone conversations with him, and they are willing to take this on.
The fact that we can't get our current provider to even
Talk to us.
tell us a price and answer 5 to 7 questions that we sent 3 to 4 times.
So, both Wybanga and Brad, and it's pronounced Bo, even though it's spelled B-O-D.
It's pronounced what?
Bo.
Okay.
So I guess I'll make a motion that we hire both Wybanga and Bradley to perform the current year audit.
I will second that.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded to hire both
Wybanga.
Wybanga and Bradley. So, trustee list,
Yeah, just for the audit, and yes.
okay, treasurer Pitt,
No.
trustee Ryder,
Yes.
as clerk, I will say yes, and supervisor Kruger.
Yes.
So, Mark, do you want to?
I can reach out to
Okay,
them
if
tomorrow.
they get a hold of me, so I can get the information, and we'll go from there. And this is their price right here.
$14,125, and again, that is just the audit, we still have to discuss and decide on the other aspect of it, but
Okay.
that, for the audit, yes.
So we can get moving started on it.
Yes.
Yeah, we can let them know, I will talk with him and find out, he knows that ours isn't done, he knew who our auditor was, I assume they have something to look at into.
What did the previous boards do to?
We had
We didn't have this problem.
We had a different auditor.
So can I ask if Laura and Mark can sit for days and hours to get it figured out? And Heidi's saying she knows what the problem is, why the 3 of us can't sit down and figure it out?
It'd be simple.
I'm just curious.
That was actually-
You guys are board members and you should be working
That was
together.
where my next.
I see a lot of
question-
animosity between Laura and Heidi, towards Heidi.
Well, that
So I'm
was-
trying to figure it out.
That's what my next question was going to be.
Why you can't sit down together and figure it out?
It's
Why
simple.
pay an auditor to do an entry?
Right.
I understand you're frustrated because you've been up, But like, I know it's been an ongoing issue for many meetings.
I've been working from home. I have been working.
Nobody said you haven't, but if you work with Mark for
When
hours.
Heidi took over on it,
I was just wondering what happened in the past is all.
when Heidi took over on it, there were things that she did that the past ones did not do. When Ron did payroll, Ron did payroll. Ron then gave it to the treasurer to do it. That is not how it's
Okay, but to
done.
point the fingers, it is what it is. Last
No, I'm
month,
saying
the
Ron's
meeting,
right
Heidi
there.
wasn't here and you
And we
were
had some
here, you said you were
sessions.
taking it back over. So I'm just genuinely asking, if you and Mark can sit for days and hours and figure it out, and Heidi knows what the problem is, why can't the three of you sit down? You make a special meeting any other time.
We're planning the reconciliation to make sure both books go together. So each one needs to do their separate jobs. It's not a matter of one doing both jobs or
That's what's
two sitting
happening
down
now.
together.
What
It's
is-
the treasurer does their reconciliation and the clerk makes sure that the books reconcile to what the treasurer has. It's checks and balances. It's not a working together. It is checks and balances to make sure our money as taxpayers.
So let me ask you this. If you know what the pension needs to be, if I were to come in and sit with you and we fill out the debit credit sheet to know what those are, you're willing to do that, because then I can go sit with Laura, get them entered, verify that, get them entered and get them reconciled. If you're willing to do that, I will call you and set up a time to come in here and spend a couple hours to go through.
Start with solid waste and I'll show you how simple it will be.
So we'll start there. We're
discussing next month.
Well, if it's entries that need to be paid, I wanna make sure I'm understanding this right. If it's entries that need to be paid, you need to do it. So I'll sit with Heidi.
You were absolutely. That's what I did was the three things. I ran 3 reports, used all 3 reports. I took the GFL statements. I took what was entered into the system. I can compare those lickety split. But you're saying,
They have to match the invoice, Laura, they're getting paid by invoice. You can't do one invoice with this one and one invoice over here. You have to do it the way the payment is submitted. And I did total up your invoices, and they don't agree with the entries that are made. So those either have to be changed and corrected, or they have to be completely voided out. It's not a big issue, it shouldn't be anything that can get anybody upset. It's something just simply you make the entries.
So I'll call you tomorrow, Heidi, we'll set up a couple hours, we'll come in and look at it. And I can do the intermediary, and
I just don't like how it's all coming down on me, it's my fault.
this isn't your fault or her fault. This is just.
And that's what I just
And
heard.
the process has changed because the former auditor provided additional details than what our current audit firm is providing. From GL.
The previous auditor, who's Phil Stewart's books, had adjusted accordingly. I don't keep a separate set of books. So we don't have that luxury of having a quick correction.
Well, and here's the thing, if we can't start next year's audit until we get the one from our current auditors, that gives us a month to work with.
Yeah.
If we're in the same spot in a month, then we have a different discussion. Because even if we were to sit here and say, yes, let's hire these folks to bank wrap them, they can't do much till this audit's done anyway.
Right.
So this gives us a month to try this.
Yeah, if you can't do it.
And if it doesn't, then we have a different discussion.
Just
And I am
drop me
very
on the
willing-
sheets and I'll start on them in
Yeah.
between tax customers. And then I will get these entries ready for you one by one and you can start getting them entered. It'll be simple.
I don't need that. I don't need you to do my job.
Okay, then I'm confused.
So you know what needs to be done to fix it, or you don't?
Do I know what needs to be done to fix it? I'm not sure how to reverse all the entries that I made for payroll that she reversed and did her own. I'm not really sure.
Here's the thing, it sounds like both of you need to sit down with Doug, and Doug as supervisor, you need to figure it out amongst the
Well,
staff.
that's a whole nother discussion. But really what needs to happen is the first plan. Mark needs to sit
If
down
they
with
wanna
Heidi,
do that, that's fine.
and then we can go from there, because Mark's already sat down with you a couple times, and his head was spinning, right? So now it's a good time to sit
We'll
with Heidi.
we'll do solid waste right off the bat, get those 2 entries done. And turn right around, and those 2 months will reconcile, and then we'll start with the next one. But they're all intertwined, because I make the transfers, I make that entry. You make the ACH payment with payroll, I don't make that entry. We just have to make sure we're not overstepping those entries, that's all.
And maybe we need to document this.
Well, that's what the sheets are for.
I mean,
Guess Mark's the middleman.
Yeah, I will call you tomorrow and we'll get some time set up. And Laura, this isn't a he said, she said.
No,
I
it's
can blame
just
you, you
getting
blame
it done,
me.
period.
Where we sit today, I don't give a crap whose problem it is or fault it is. We fix it. And if you be an intermediary and give some time with Heidi and you, we'll give it a shot. And if it doesn't work, we'll have a different discussion at the next one.
we need to document the flow, who's responsible for what. Not just the debits and credits to correct this, but who does what and when, to make sure, right? Because again, things are different than they were in the past.
A definite division.
Right, the
So
division,
whose role
right.
is
I make these
what?
entries, you make these entries,
Yes.
right? Let's get it black and white.
Yeah, so.
Okay, anyways, 4 accounts, so it's not like it's 22.
Right.
The other 17 balance fine every month, so we've only got to concentrate on the 1.
I'll call you tomorrow, we'll start with solid waste, and then we'll tackle another one, and we'll go from there, and if we can make this work, great. If not, we'll talk about it next time.
All right,
Yeah, no kidding.
moving on, legal discussion. Oh, sorry, payroll discussion, my apologies. This is a Laura topic.
Yeah, but I'm not sure how to even after all of this, even.
You want to table it?
No, because payroll's coming up. And it's gotta be done a different way than what it's been done.
So in the process of trying to determine whose job is who, what have you found out in regards to the payroll?
I called MTA, and my responsibility is to do payroll from the beginning to the end and upload it into the bank.
But you
And then-
cannot approve it.
And then Heidi's responsibility is to release the payroll into all of our accounts. And then in our packets, we would get the payroll paperwork. Heidi and I sat down for quite a while in the beginning, and we made forms, we created these forms. These forms, within a couple of months, are of no use to me because somehow things got changed, and she was, when she's doing the uploading, which she's not supposed to be, it's supposed to be me because of the separation of the 2 jobs. She was also making entries that I was making.
No.
And,
I'll open those books up for anybody who wants to see them, that is in.
I really wish I could just say what I wanna say without being interrupted.
Then I'll
So I
have
need
my-
a break. I need a break. Sorry.
All right, that's fine. Take 5.
So I while
It's thankful about years ago, for my parents.
right, Dennis for selling.
Square wheels.
Yes. In the agreement with county that we would have a yellow book audit done yearly. Is the yellow book audit still being done?
Yes, it is yearly. Vincenzi's still the same company that we've always had.
Yes.
So it's the same,
Company, same company.
so then
for this audit, what is this one, this the funds and then whatever you're saying?
That's our, this is the financial audit, not the bond audit. I mean, maybe the bond auditors
So,
do.
no,
They don't.
no, so we would have to submit a copy to county so that they would see that the water. And they get it, and it's the yellow book audit. So the 23 one that's behind.
It's not, the 23 one is not behind with the exception of it's waiting for the finals. The final F-65, that's all they're waiting on, but county has the
The
other.
county has what they need for the water.
I just wondered if it was still a yellow book audit because there's a different.
So that's, we'll get there. Yeah, I feel. So what do we need to do for payroll change in the work process based on an MTA's discussion? And I know you've also reached out to a couple other clerks about some other things, and this was.
The payroll and the entries on payroll are for the clerk to do. That's the clerk's responsibility. And then to upload it, once I'm done in the BSNA system, I am to upload it to the bank. And then, when it's time, then the treasurer releases it. That's all she does right then. Then in our packets, I would be giving you what I have been giving you right along. What everything, the amounts of everything. Those entries I make. She just does the transfers from general to payroll and fire to payroll. I make the entries into the system. I would be giving you guys all of this so she knows what's coming. She knows she has to make the transfer from fire to payroll to cover the MERS and all of the things that are due.
Okay,
So if after payroll is done, say we had another situation like we did in a couple of months ago. That would go through as it was, but we would correct any given mistakes the next month. It's flows better, you will have better paperwork to show. So, but that's the way that MTA said it is supposed to be done. I'm not supposed to be putting it on a flash drive and giving it to Heidi to upload to the bank and then also release it because she's doing both things.
The only difference, if I'm understanding what you're saying right, the only difference would be you're gonna do everything you do now, and then you're gonna upload it to the bank. And Heidi will continue doing what she was doing from that point. The only difference that you're talking about is who's uploading it to the bank.
Uploading it to the bank, and she is not to make any entries of payroll, any entries for fire. That is up to me to do.
So she transferred money from fire to payroll.
Once I give her.
She would transfer it in the bank, she would tell you, and you would make the journal.
No, I have the journal entry, I do the journal entry, I give the paperwork, and then she knows what is to be done. In the system, the payroll's gonna be loaded. All she has to worry about in the beginning is pushing a button to release it. If there's a mistake and we're all sitting here and we see there's a mistake, then you say, Laura, I got missed on one per diem.
Okay, so I'm not trying to be stupid, but I'm trying to understand, so I'm a little confused. Right now, you are giving Heidi a flash drive.
Mm-hmm,
She is uploading it to the bank and releasing it.
mm-hmm.
Who's doing the journal entries?
I am.
Okay, I just asked if you were, you said no.
She is reversing some of mine and
I'm
redoing
not
them.
reversing. I need my time to talk on this.
Hold on, so can I finish?
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm going to argue your point just for the moment, then I'm gonna argue Heidi's, if I understand. You're doing the entry, Heidi's uploading it and releasing it from the bank.
Right now, yes.
Okay, what you're talking about is you'll do the entry, you'll do the entry, you'll upload it to the bank, she'll release it.
Mhm.
So the only difference that I'm seeing here is the entries that you're claiming Heidi is reversing. Is that and if she is or isn't, for this argument, let's say you are, okay?
She's uploading it to the bank.
Right, and releasing it.
Mhm.
But if she's not doing the entries, as she states, then the only difference I'm understanding is you're uploading it to the bank. Am I missing?
According to what you just said, but are those not journal entries that were just made on this last? And that wasn't me that made those.
Trash, payroll, fire.
By all means, I would like to see that myself. And there's an audit where we could look.
There is, I mean, this entry is showing that, but again, I don't know the BSNA and how everything works, so, but I'm looking at it. So, your argument is, this should not have been done by Heidi. Okay, all right, so I think Heidi has every right to look at that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, let me clarify what that is.
Yeah.
You gave it to me.
$7,000 because the payroll was wrong. I uploaded the wrong one. I made a mistake.
We're not talking about that one. This is the one after.
Secondly, once that wrong amount is made and I transferred the money, I had to transfer the money back because we didn't pay that much payroll. Okay, so it was wrong. So I corrected my entry only. I don't touch your entries. It clearly says Laura and Heidi. It's very simple to see. So secondly, I didn't change them. This is the report that I give you every month to show you what I transfer for payroll, for fire, and for general only. I do not do anything else. This is your amount of the ACH payment.
What's at the top?
That's where I transfer the transfer, for the money to be put in the account. I have to do that when I make a transfer. You don't want me to make a general transfer to payroll? And as far as the payroll, wasn't even in our packet tonight. And
That's
secondly,
because I got that from you.
you get
and
this
I
every month.
No, that was the first time.
No,
I
it's
have it back.
every single month I have given it to you. Since the auditors were here last fall. They're the ones that showed us that report was there. And that's how I know the total amount to transfer, so that the money is there when the payroll goes through. Otherwise, I could be waiting a week and we'll be overdrawn.
Okay, so you're making the transfer in the bank. You're calling the
Yes.
bank or doing it online or however you do it, I don't
Yes.
care.
Correct,
And then you are making that journal entry?
correct. As
Okay,
a requirement, because I transferred the money.
okay. And what Laura, if I'm understanding what you're saying is, She should call the bank, log 9, do whatever she's supposed to do,
Okay.
transfer, hold on, transfer the money. But you're supposed to make the journal entry. Is that,
So
I
this is-
I just wanna
I want to show you
understand.
this, you see that every month, that is something that Heidi and I created together. If I'm not supposed to be doing that, then why did we create that?
You wanted to know what the net was, what the gross was, and how I calculated the amount of transfer. With this new report that the auditor showed us, we don't need to sit there and calculate it because it's given to us. And it tells you exactly what the MERS is gonna be at the 15%, it tells us exactly what fire's portion is, and that's how I know how much to take from fire. I take those two totals, I put it into the fire, or take it into due to fire, or due to general, due to payroll, whatever it's called, due to payroll, and then in turn, I have to then take it out of due to payroll from payroll, and then put it in the payroll account. It's 6 little lines, I do that, and then I do the same thing for general. And it's off that major report, which is why I give it to Laura every month to show her, and then I give her the transfer stuff.
So this is saying that if you change it, then you would not be making those transfers?
No, I'm the only one of all of this board that can make these transfers.
Right.
That's what you say are releasing the funds, is that
No,
correct?
that's the ACH payment.
So your transfers is the.
I'm approving the payroll, and then I'm releasing it after it's approved. So I have to go by every sheet, everybody's time sheets and all of that to approve.
And I don't know why the past treasurers never did that.
Okay, so
I bet you call the past treasurer to find out.
So that's what you're talking about, the approval, is that it wouldn't meet approval, you wouldn't have
Oh,
to
no,
approve it.
I'm required to approve.
But she's saying that it's not, you would just, you
It's the
upload.
same thing with the check, yeah. If she writes a check, when she writes the checks, she gives them to me, I double check that that is the right amount for the check versus the invoices, and then I do my signature as well. That is approving the payment. I must do the same thing with payroll, it's a checks and balance system.
But it didn't
Payroll
sound
cannot
like
be
it's
done by
not
one or
fair.
the other.
It didn't sound like that's what MTA had said.
I don't care what MTA says, the book says differently, I'll go with the book every day of my life. It even says I do all the bank recs. So you guys do what you want, but I'm telling you,
Well, that's a different book than.
because this is the treasurer's book.
Yeah, there's a specific book for the treasurer.
Everybody has a specific book. I'm fine doing 22 others, and Laura can do the 5, and
So,
she can upload, and then I'll do my part, but I still have to approve it.
so if that treasurer book is saying you're supposed to do banker,
Can I just look at what it is, or?
It's the first one right there.
No, I'm looking at. Okay, so this is
So-
MTA Treasurer's Guide to, okay,
so that's an MTA book.
so.
And that's actually why the auditor had me do them, because at the time when the auditor came in, all the investment accounts had no entries in the books. And I had changed everything from CDs over to investments, and got them out of CDs. And those bank recs had not been done, so he had me sit down under Laura's name to do all the bank recs for 12 months. That was 33 of them at the time, the CDs and everything. And I sat there and did them one by one, all 12 months, times 33, and that's how we got started with this. So, I mean, it's been going fine.
So there is a question as of division of roles?
Yep. Because if
It's all the
it's,
checks and balances.
Yes, there's a question there, because from what she had found out, it sounded like it's not coinciding with that.
Well, think of it simply this way. Everything is a checks and balances, okay? So everything gets, she puts the warrants in, which is the invoice, okay? We all approve it, and then the final step is when she gives me the check, then I approve it and I sign my signature on it. Because she's
So she
already
fills
filled
out
out
a check.
That's the checks and balances. Now, think of the same thing as if it was all payroll was a check.
So when you sign a check, she gives you don't just sign a check, you're saying before you sign it, you double check that to the invoice.
Yes,
You have to.
I mean, that's what the checks and balances in the store. It's just, we've always done it, it's always worked here before. I don't know what the problem is now, but this is simply making a big issue out of nothing. We all need to do our part, do our checks and balance, and just get these entries made.
So
That's it.
we need to make a clear division of.
We need a document. Right. We absolutely need a
Yes.
document and
Yes.
understand that.
It has clerk, it has treasurer. And the workbook is probably identical to the treasurer there.
So that we're getting mixed information.
What is happening?
Right, from MTA versus what this is. So I mean,
But that's what this is, MPA too.
right, so we kind of have to make a decision how we want to do this.
Okay, one is
Based
just
on-
a summary book, and one is based on the treasurer, and one is based on the.
Are they the same edition, like one?
No. But no matter what, guys, it's still checks and balances, you still have to both review it. That's why we have a clerk, the deputy, and a treasurer and a deputy, so that everybody has that opportunity to do checks and balances.
Right, but I'm just confused because if your book says something with what MTA is saying and their own book is saying something
Right.
different, like someone needs to get to the bottom of it.
Right, that's what, because they're, in a sense, they're both right.
Well, and that's what Laura wanted to do last month, which she wants me to do my tax and investments, and she's gonna do the other 5. That's great. That's fine, I don't care. As long as we get them balanced, I don't care. But as far as certain things are, I still have to do that approved. That just is, or you don't have the checks and balances.
On the other side is the.
So I have a question. I will start a conversation with MTA tomorrow. With all 3 of us on it, or the entire board, to try to get a workflow documented from them, whose responsibility these are.
That's what I tried to do.
From MTA, I'll talk to Kathy, I'll talk to Kathy on MTA.
Saying that this is saying one
What are we
thing,
doing?
this is saying you want.
We want specifics.
Right, that's what I tried to do with Judy, and Judy told me that it was my responsibility to upload it, and within 20 minutes of, me talking to Judy, there was a reply back to Judy saying that she would listen and she would continue to do what she was going to do. So I don't think there's any change in it, so whatever.
I will.
Yes.
Tomorrow, we're going to. All right, any other discussion on that? If not, we'll move on to the legal discussion. So, last Sunday, I received a bill, it was weird hours, but they signed up their billing. And I forwarded it to, kind of looked at it, there were 2 attachments on it, and okay, well, it seems awful high. Sent it off to Laura, right? Well, this is, again, a little high for what I've been discussing with our legal firm. So I thought about it all night Sunday, and I told Laura on Monday, I said, hey, will you take a look at that? I wasn't at my computer, and she said, well, there's some other things on there, some other requests. So I contacted the attorney, said, what's going on? Like, who did this? Oh, it was Treasurer Pitt, had some questions, and we had different phone conversations and email exchanges and so on. Okay, and they actually had a suggestion based on this discussion, because when we came into the role, we opened our legal team up to the board, to zoning, to planning, for anyone to contact them. It hasn't been an issue, right? Historically, a few times Russ has reached out, he's copied me on it. So their proposal and this is where I'm going to make a motion. Their proposal is for any future communication to our legal team from the board, from planning, zoning, whomever, that the supervisor is copied on it, or they will not respond. Coincidentally, and this is my motion, any communications that I send to the legal team, I will copy the clerk on it, because she will be one receiving the invoice. Checks and balances. So we all have a check and balance when contacting the legal advisor for the township.
So that they would know
Yes.
not to respond unless.
Correct, unless,
Okay.
unless the supervisor's copied, or the clerk is copied, I will request from me.
So if any other, say that again, any other
If any other,
board member,
board member or
committee member,
committee member utilizes our legal services, the supervisor is to be copied on the request. When the supervisor uses our legal services, the clerk is to be copied on the request.
okay, so you have a motion and just. All right. All right, if we have any legal communications by the supervisor, he will copy the clerk. If any other board member or committee member utilizes legal, services, they will copy the board.
Supervisor.
Oh, just the
Just the
supervisor, okay,
I mean,
so,
they can copy.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely can.
And middle.
okay, so that's your motion, I'll second. So it's been moved and seconded on the legal, discussion to have, more. So if the supervisor's gonna do it, he's gonna copy the clerk. If any other board member or committee member utilize that, they will copy the supervisor. So, Treasurer Hitt,
No.
Trustee Ryber,
Yes.
Ms. Clerk, I will say yes. Supervisor Carter
Yes.
and Trustee List.
Yes.
All right, next on the agenda is the MERS update. Ms. Ross.
Mark is a very, intelligent man. I really appreciate all of his efforts because I tried to get MERS to upload. And he just knew there was a glitch in the system. It wasn't communicating. So he was able to, within a couple of minutes, fix it.
So there were some formulaic errors in the formula. And it's going in and figure out.
Sitting there
what formula
now, yeah. So, I appreciate it because MERS is more than caught up.
Yeah, because before, the way it had been going, we would get paid in June. MERS should have been paid, we were paying MERS in July, except for we were behind for a couple months because we couldn't get uploaded, we were 3 months behind.
Yeah, it would not,
And-
but I is.
And, that frankly is not good, but it is now fixed. And now, when you made your June payment for the July payment.
Right.
You immediately uploaded the MERS at the same time. So now MERS is being paid at the same time as payroll instead of a month later. So,
And there is another copy offsite.
yes,
So
so we have
if
a
it's
master.
corrupt, if the upload file is corrupt, there's another.
Yeah, we have, because I sent you up a master copy of both the employee and the employer. And there's an on-site copy of the master, it doesn't have the personal data in the document.
Correct.
So that if it doesn't load up, you can.
I know we call.
Alright, so I appreciate it.
Well, I want to thank him. And I sit there watching and it was like, oh my gosh, he was going.
Next on the agenda is a training update. So we had a suggestion from our current auditor for both our clerk and treasurer to obtain some additional training. And that's one of the 7 questions that I have been asking them, and Mark had as well, several emails. What training courses would you suggest? They really didn't give an answer, but in the meantime, I reached out to BSNA. BSNA, when we integrated to the cloud, they were not providing training courses. So I didn't expect them to respond that they now have opened them, because in my other courses, from an assessment perspective, they've not indicated that this is open. They did indicate, BSNA did indicate that it is open, they do have training courses, they do have a calendar. And that was also the suggestion from our auditor that we received on Friday, is we don't really have anything, but look at the BSNA. So I looked at the calendar and I found a couple of 3, and there's more out there, different courses that I think would be beneficial for our clerk and treasurer to look at and to take. 2 of them are free. Yes, they're all webinars. So when you look at them, make sure you look, they have .NET and they have the cloud. So make sure you look at the cloud version. One of them is a payroll policy, payroll training course, 941 balancing and reporting. There's no charge for this course. It is actually this Thursday at 2 o'clock. It's an hour, Eastern Standard, 2 to 3, that may be beneficial. There's one budget encompasses cloud webinar, which is August 21st from 2:30 to 3:30. That's also free. And then there's one that's $200. So there are some that have a fee associated with it. I didn't find many that did. And this is governmental accounting webinar for the cloud. And that's a 3-hour training course on September 18th. So I would like to make a motion to approve the clerk and the treasurer to take the governmental accounting webinar at the cost of $200 each on September 18th.
Is this a live class?
It is. But it is a webinar.
Right, but it would be like a virtual.
Yes, it is a virtual.
There's no traveling.
No, it's from home or from the hall.
This one is also on October 2nd. If there's no charge for this one.
I don't know.
So this is the one that I wanted. This is
These were just recommendations. There's free courses up there. Again, there's a few that I intend to take. I didn't see any from assessment, but there's some budgeting ones that were interesting.
I would do this one. And then I think this is the exact same, but it's in October.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So I will do that one with the next. Next here, here, and.
Let's look at
So. So, I will do the, this first one, so do we just contact
There's a
them
link.
because it's a webinar?
There's a link in there. Not in that one, but yeah.
In your
there.
actual email?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so. I will do this one.
I got and then we'll look at the
So you made a motion to approve the kind of ABCS and the training.
just the first one, copy the others were. And we'll look at that going forward. I looked through.
So what would you say, you don't want to really say, yeah.
Cost, associated cost.
It is to attend. It would still be.
I just thought it didn't sound
No.
correct. Okay, so the supervisor made a motion for the clerk and the treasurer to be able to attend the DSNA webinar class on September 18th at a cost of $200
$200 each.
$200 per person. Need a second? Second. Okay, so it's been moved and seconded. Trustee Ryder?
Yes.
Ms. Clerk, I will say yes. Supervisor Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Liz?
Yes.
Treasurer Pitt?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, next, sticking with the training update, there is a MERS conference registration. And attendance is when? October 16th and 17th, there's of course.
There's a, right, and it is before our next.
For our next, August 15th, at the rate of $255. Does this include, hotel? That's for one night. 2 nights. So it'd be the 15th and 16th, 19th, 17th. And this is.
Was that information sent to anyone, because I didn't get a copy?
And I'm sure she gets it too, because she's on there, so she should have.
Well, I'm not
She
sure.
can have this.
Just curious.
Yes, I know.
No, it's fine.
So did you want? So you want to make a motion?
So I will make a motion to, go, to attend the MERS annual conference, October 16th and 17th. And the early bird price of $255 plus my hotel. All right, it's been moved and seconded for the clerk to attend the annual MERS conference Thursday and Friday, October 16th and 17th. And, we want the cost in here?
Yes. 245 plus hotel costs. 255 plus hotel.
Okay, so it's been moved in second. Supervisor Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Liz?
Yes.
Treasurer Pitt?
No.
And Trustee Ryder?
Yes.
And clerk, I will say yes, so I will get myself set up. And this.
All right, next on the agenda was what was added to the agenda at the beginning is the IT guys quotes. So we have a couple of quotes here, 3. So the first one is a new Dell laptop, because this, our zoning administrator's laptop, we have still a couple more. It's Windows 10, and it is now upgradable as of October. So we still have more, I think we have 1 or 2 more possibly. We need to see what's in the election room, and see those may need to be replaced as well. So this isn't a want, this is a need, we have no option. It is what it is. If we want to continue to do business, we have to buy the computers. It is what it is. So that's the first one, it's the exact laptop that was just purchased for our code enforcement officer at the cost of the same price, $850. The second quote is for some change-ups in the front and in the back. It will change out 2 of the current cameras and put in a 180-degree cameras, because there are no outside exterior. So there are 2 exterior cameras, we have some blind spots that have been identified. So that will eliminate the blind spots on the exterior of the building, and it is a little bit cheaper rate that we'll swap out the existing cameras, and all the lines are there, nothing needs to be run. The other additions are an additional camera in the boardroom to get on the north side of the room to get that angle. So there's one over each door. There's one suggested in the middle of the admin area that points down towards the offices. And then there's one down by the supervisor's office that would get the election room, the fire-proof room, and the supervisor's office. So I met with IT guys last Friday morning and did a quick walkthrough, and that cost is $22.89. The third is something that we will need at the fire department, but I don't believe we will need it until the new doors are installed. It's new door locks for both exterior metal doors.
I have a question on that. Are we really obligated to pay the tax or tax exempt?
But now we have to have that removed.
Okay.
I mean, we can work with, that's not a problem. But that one I want to put on hold.
We're gonna table this?
Yeah, we need to table this one. I need to talk to chief, and I'm not sure exactly where this discussion, I didn't have this discussion with Lance about this, in this detail. But this was for, I believe this is for the fire department.
It's because we're supposed to be replacing those doors.
Yeah.
And he wants the keypads replaced?
Yeah, once we replace the doors. Yeah.
But they're trying to get the doors? And they want to paint the doors?
I didn't know that.
That's why the quote was there, so we could get it all done.
Who ordered doors?
Done. I can answer most of your questions.
I didn't know that we had.
We didn't order no doors.
Okay.
I've been sitting on the internet punching buttons for a long time on it. And I was gonna bring it up to you, I brought it up to Heidi tonight, because me talking to the fire people, they don't hardly use their key badges.
No, they don't.
They use the push button.
Right.
Okay, but chief, and this being a commercial building or a building that people are in, you have to have panic bars.
Yes.
Can't have a door. So the door with panic bar, with a push button entry, is gonna run about $1,500 per door. And they have them, and I don't have to order them, they have them at Lowe's and Home Depot. But that's why I wanted to bring to your guys' attention that originally we was looking at $700, and then when chief come to me, and I didn't realize that they didn't have panic bars. I had to walk through the door, they're going in and out of it all the time, but I didn't realize they didn't have a panic bar on it. They have to have panic bars in case something goes on in the building, if you don't have a jam up with people trying to get out of the building, so just the panic bar alone is like $800, and the door's another $800. So that's with a keypad on the outside.
So this might be a moot quote then? Is that what you're saying?
No.
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 No, we won't have to do
Yes.
it, we won't have them do it, because it's right on the door.
That's what I mean, the door you're talking about would come with some of this, so.
No. This is a separate entry system.
But the talk was that because the fire barn, we insulated it, those doors need to be replaced before winter.
Well, they're rotted.
They're rotted.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was something that had to be done, and I've made these calls before to get quotes and never had an issue. So I went ahead and called him this morning and said, if we can get this quote, we might be able to get an answer tonight and get this project on schedule to get this done.
But we needed to talk to the chief to see if he still wanted a key card or just.
He doesn't want a key card, so I confirmed that with Lance as well.
So we won't need Lance, but I can do that.
You can do the regular keypad.
I can do the regular key, because it's right like ours are. You just put the number in that everybody gets. Because I don't use my key card that you give me. Just one card, and if I got 3 guys running around.
Right.
So we all just push the code and away we go. It'll be the same thing on panic bar. So I would just hold off on that until we get a definite how much these doors are gonna really truthfully cost. Cause they did, if I have to go with a solid frame, it's a different price. If I go with a three-piece frame, it's a different price. You know, are we gonna put shocks on it so they automatic close, or, I mean, there's a lot of variables by what I didn't realize that you talked to Chris, but I wanna talk to Chris. And me talking to firefighters, the swipe, they don't use them. Cause they jump from one vehicle to the next vehicle, they get down and they don't have it.
Yeah, so we'll see, table this one until our August meeting, we'll have more information on that.
Quotes for the doors.
For the doors and for the
Yes.
locks.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it'll still be good.
Now, any of these cameras that you're swapping out for the hall, can they at least be used for the park? Because we have areas we can't see it, those big tables are coming in, the construction coming
We
down.
will need, yeah, we can relocate them once we have a spot.
You're gonna dig around.
What was that?
I just think it's an awful lot of money to add to the hall when we already have cameras here.
Yeah, we have blank spots and we have concerns, so. All right, so I will make a motion to approve the Dell laptop, cost $850 from the IT guys for a zoning administrator. And also the additional and swapping out of the cameras for $2,289.
I'll second.
We did have a new the new quote.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded to, purchase a new laptop at the price of $850 for the zoning administrator. And, the quote for the updated, camera areas, at the cost of $2,289 for the hall. It's been, moved and seconded. So, Trustee Ryder?
Yes.
As clerk, I will say yes. Supervisor Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee List?
Yes.
And Treasurer Pitt?
No,
All right, next on the agenda is FOIA requests.
I don't
None this month. Road commission report, trustee Ryder.
The meeting, went to the meeting on June 19th. And all the projects that are in our township were either finished or in progress. And another little tidbit, John Schmoody is retiring June 30th. So we've already retired.
No, it's the air conditioner.
It did sound like it at first, didn't it?
And in regards to the overpass in Sanford, that has been delayed because they were running right on track. And they had set the beams, the concrete beams, someone noticed cracks. So they had to take the beams out and actually redesign them because they had to make tweaks and whatnot. So they had to redesign and of course remake them and then reinstall them, so we're not looking until fall time before that will be done. I heard the second batch was cracked too. Oh, no, I haven't heard that, okay. I don't know how true it is. I'm surprised that it would have happened that quickly though. I don't know, curious, okay.
Thank you, trustee Ryder. Water District 1 report. We did receive one resignation in turnover on the board. There's been no water increases yet. However, this is the month that usually is implemented, so stay tuned with that. Minor, what was the first name? Lindsay. She was filming for Jerome.
Oh, okay.
She was the treasurer for Jerome for a short time. She relocated. All right, I don't think there's anything else for Water District. Go with the working report.
Last month we had 4 buildings, 6 plumbing, 8 mechanical and 4 electrical permits issued for the township. There's still construction going on down at the county building, which is making working there difficult because of the noise and the construction. Still don't know exactly where the final office will be. We have had a couple of subcommittee meetings trying to hire a second person so that the code authority can be open if Brianne's on vacation or out sick. Like I said before, she's had some family medical issues. So we actually have an interview tomorrow night with someone who is potentially interested in being a secondary backup. And basically, we're there a day or two with Brianne to help with filing and stuff, and then if Brianne's off, would be a call. So that, kind of like substitute teacher, okay? Or if she has planned vacation, obviously no vacation. So that we can have the office open more consistently, because we know the last 3 months especially has been very rough. Yeah, so we're working on that, and basically we've got one interview tomorrow, we've got another resume or two in that we're gonna look at tomorrow night as well. So we'll basically go through who we get and then take one or two to full board for reviewing decisions. Anything else? Not totally. All right, next up is the grant committee reports.
We have new signs on.
Yes. So it is to.
Thank you, Mary.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll work on the next one.
Cal and I drove both ways to see them.
They're pretty cool.
So it's right at 9 Mile.
No, so it's about a quarter mile west and a quarter mile east, so that you see it,
In time.
approach
over, right,
yeah.
see.
Yeah, it's really very nice to see. They look good. We are looking at, further research on the tornado sirens.
I was gonna talk
for
to you
township.
tonight.
Yeah, we were gonna talk to you tonight. So there's a lot of questions and answers that we're sort of feeling our way through right now, so, but that is in the works. And right now, we are unable to proceed with actually applying for any grants until we have to most places, because of the delay in the, F-65. A lot of the foundations that we normally would apply to are requiring, financials for obvious reasons. So they wanna see, the most recent audits, and with the delay in that, we don't really have anything to provide. We try to provide them with an audit from like 2022, that's not so good, we need to give them a current audit. So we'll be postponing, delaying, or postponing, applying to anything until we get that resolved, so.
No.
It should not, no, because that was already awarded, so good question.
All right. And stole my thunder with the recognition moment. I wanted to thank Mary Spindler for her continued effort for this time. I know you're not, that's what I love. So, thank you, Mary. Mary was, you should see the emails and text messages that I get from Mary at all hours of the day and night.
And if you don't respond, she's on the.
Yes. About the signs, about the, I mean, I know, right? We need you on her. She is a good driver. She is a good driver, so thank you, Mary. Any other recognition moments this evening? All right, if not.
I want to say something about the DPW guys. You guys are wonderful. Honest to Pete, things are looking excellent. The grass and everything, and the cemetery's looking better. I just want to give you guys an attaboy.
Thank you. Yes, and I recognize them almost every meeting. It doesn't fail. I drive home from whatever and the grass is freshly mowed and yeah, it looks great out here and we received many compliments about that.
I'd like to say thank you to you both and Mark and your son for helping with the chickens
That was an interesting event, wasn't it?
Yeah, she's home.
So, for those of you that don't know, Megan and Bobby came into the repurposed area on a Tuesday night. Pretty late, it was 7.
7:30.
It was later.
There's no power, so we went to dinner in Mount Pleasant. And so we ate at IHOP and stopped at recycling on the way back. And I always walk through the repurpose center to check everything out, and I turned around and there was a chicken standing next to our truck. She had rode up underneath the undercarriage of the truck, all the way back in the back.
Yeah, my sister said the same thing.
We got it back on Saturday.
And then we chased the chicken.
Yeah, I got probably 10,000 mosquito bites because my husband went home to milk the cow, which is why he's not here now. And I stayed out in the woods until after dark, and that night it was an absolute downpour. And we started getting lost in the woods because we couldn't hear anything but the rain, and the wettest I've ever been in my life. But we did not get the chicken. I got lots of bug bites, but we got the chicken home on Saturday.
As long as you're talking about chickens, I have a black rooster if anybody wants him, he's fantastic, seriously. I have too many roosters. I can hold him. He's loving. No.
Things are costing.
How much comment?
I have a comment/question. On Oak Drive, you know what we're dealing with on there with
The two.
right? So as the residents, we're all trying to figure out what to do with the two, trying to get, sort of that. In doing that, some of my neighbors brought up the fact that, did you know, and Heidi had told me this a while ago, the township owns a strip there. They're thinking it's on the road. I said, I don't think so, because I remember Heidi saying did you say it was on the property? It's just the road. So what do we do? It's supposed to be a private road, if the township owns part of the road.
Yeah, that's a problem.
No, I don't know that road. I thought you, were the one that originally discovered it. Yes. Yeah.
So that's actually,
So I think what we.
No, it's not, it's like going up where Heather is, come back, maybe 100 feet to the left.
So before the river
Before. On the first street.
And GIS might not be quite.
So I believe it was one of those wanky things around Porterville Road where it never got put together and half of it went into foreclosure and nobody wanted it, so it reverted back to the township. So it's not a buildable, even like, it's not even like,
So-
2.5.
We probably have to take an action, I know we have to take an action, and it will probably need to be surveyed, and we'll need to split, figure out where we'll have to decide how to split it. For the
I think it just needs to be attached to the foundation.
Yeah. It needs to not be.
Yes.
Yes. So I'll add that for the next, yes. Thanks for bringing that up.
If you don't get an answer, if you don't get an answer, have a great call.
Yeah, I'll take care of it.
Okay, so any other public comments? Yes.
I think it was last week or so, I didn't find on the township webpage, the date and time for the next board review here coming up in July and stuff.
Yes.
It wasn't on the calendar or anything. It's been at least a week or so since I last checked it.
It's probably not on there, it's next Tuesday at 7 o'clock.
Okay, well, it needs to get on the webpage, hopefully. I'm hoping at some point you guys will start working on digitizing the meeting packet so you don't kill a forest. Just saying. It would be nice.
I did look at scanners, but I can't choose. Maybe somebody that has more knowledge.
I personally like HPs, but that's just me. They're pretty reliable, the company's pretty good, at least it has been in the past.
Cause I get there looking at them.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see, I did want to make a comment about the blight ordinance. We do live in a country, in a county for a reason. We don't live inside the city limits for a reason. And I think if your crap doesn't leave your yard, then it doesn't exist. And there are services and stuff that the state has for, you know, waste if somebody's spilling crap literally on their yard, whatever type thing and stuff, that you can call and they can deal with it. We don't need to micromanage any of that. And so I think that your blight ordinance needs to really just be 2 freaking sentences. Offense makes good neighbors, we need to be good neighbors, we can be, leave it at that. They don't like it, they can move back to the city. The other part is the F-65. You guys have been doing good work on that sort of thing and stuff, but I really, really, really would like to see, since September is the next one for this year, that, I mean, in the past, CPAs have been hired to come in and put things together, and it makes audits go faster and stuff. If you guys can get things worked out in this next month, cool. If you can't, get a freaking CPA in here, get it done, get it all shiny, little stars on it, whatever, get it done by the end of September this year. Just freaking do it. It's a lot cheaper than having the state step in if things happen and go sideways.
Ain't a lot of that
And
velocity.
yes, and we won't lose our current contracts, any of that kind of stuff. I mean, look at what happened to Flint. We don't want our contracts and everything we've got going on right now, the park, the fire department, the water stuff, they can change all of that. It's not nice. I don't want that to happen to us. And then all the properties get assessed, we pay for it all. So yeah, let's just pay the few, whatever here now, get the CPA in, just get it square, get it done. So that's my vote to you guys, that you're hired to do that, do it. Let's just get it done. So that's it.
Thanks, Todd.
Yep.
Anybody else? Yes.
Did you hear anything from the road commission after road bridge?
No, I mean,
I see
it's
you
in
must
the
have
works.
something set up
They
now
were
for the
patching
traffic
something.
down there.
They were supposed to patch something where you could see through it.
That bridge
Oh,
needs
that's
more work.
safe.
I don't know if
It's a gazebo now.
Is that what's the?
Oh, I was sure.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so they must be paying attention.
I know when they looked at it, they were quite surprised by the current condition, yes. So,
I just wonder.
it wasn't on the list, but I don't know how, hopefully they moved it
I
out.
wonder to see how many conservation will come for classes.
Oh, good, I don't have to. I'm not here often, but tonight I appreciated the communication that was going on, between the 5 of you regarding the assessing and the roles that Heidi and Laura have, and trying to figure out where is the underlying problem? Like I said, I'm not here often. I typically work evenings, but, I appreciated that communication and I hope that you guys are able to continue to set aside those differences of, you know, she said, and take a look at what is the underlying absolute problem, the misunderstanding or miscommunication, and to be humble and to acknowledge, okay, I misunderstood this, or, you know, I understand you have a different perspective, or you have a different understanding of what your book says, or the book itself is just completely, they're saying, giving different information. I don't know. But I hope that you guys are able to continue to have that communication and set aside those past differences and figure out what the actual issue is. So I think tonight, what I saw anyways, I thought was hopeful with Mark stepping in and saying, let me see if I can be an intermediary, or however you phrase that, let's figure this out. Because it sounds as though
there is,
Assumption.
there's assumptions and there's confusion and there's misunderstanding, and I don't know where that is, and I don't care where that is, but that to try to set aside not taking things personally, right? That, oh, this, you know, whatever the case may be. I feel like so much of the arguing that occurs is a misunderstanding in a lot of different ways. Thank you.
Any other public comment tonight? Okay,
My roof,
you're good.
my roof, over the wheelchair swing,
Oh,
is that under correspondence?
It's, no, but
I
no, Mary sent me a note, we need to look into that.
I need to say,
thought they were coming over
They did not come.
they didn't come that day from Bay City when they were.
Oh, yeah, they fixed that, well, that was fixed.
Oh,
No,
okay.
Mary's wanting, and she's suggesting, I should say Mary's wanting, sure, she wants. Mary is suggesting that we put basically like a pavilion roof of some sort over the wheelchair.
Oh, that is so much money. We got
Yes,
protected.
kind of
So-
protective.
I've been hoping to get a hold of our builder that we had do other things. I left him-
You haven't gotten a hold of it yet.
I left him 2 messages. on
Tell
that.
him Mary's gonna
I will
call.
tell him Mary's going to, and he's normally that day, either early in the morning or in the afternoon.
I can get up at 4 in the morning.
Well, he's Amish, so that would be good.
Okay.
All right, moving on to correspondence.
I have some right here. Depends on how you see it. So, we got our sticker from the MPA, because we are members. And this correspondence came, Heidi put it in my box. I'm not sure where all of it came from, but there's educational, and this actually really would be more for anybody else out here. And then, yeah, I'm not sure where all of it came from. Miss Marie, this is yours.
The Michigan 529 claim, savings educational. For kids. So Michigan has, that's pretty cool.
And, charter, if you don't know, you guys are gonna get a new, comedy channel.
Can I get the cable run to my house first? That would be nice.
That's how I feel about the water. And then if somebody wants to vote, one of us sitting up here, if we wanna vote, for the workers' comp place, for their, person that sits on the board. There's that, if any of you wanna partake of that. And then, this is yours. And then, I guess this could be a recognition, yes, say that word 10 times. I got this, am I correct, that is June 24th?
Yeah.
Okay.
Our mail is taking months.
But I got this in the mail. Can you?
May 20th.
Yes, with money in it, from this person. She actually paid for the car rental after the fact. That's what I'm guessing. But what I want is Heidi to take that envelope and see if I ever gave you anything from her.
I'll hold the money.
I would only have it if you gave me money.
What's that?
I would only have it if you gave me money.
Well, that's what, will you look and see, because if not, I will turn this over to you, because it just floored me. And if she didn't know, once you tell me, if not, I'm sending this back to her.
So you gotta see if she already paid?
That's what I want. Will you write down her name and address and see if you can? I don't know why you're looking at me like that.
Because cash receipting, the only way I would have anything is if she paid.
Well, what if she sent a check or something?
You just give it to her, tell her
Why
to
would
do
she
whatever.
send more money?
Because she would call in and say she didn't get it, and so she sent it on the one
I just feel like she's paid twice, is what I'm trying to say. And I didn't want you to deposit it and then us have to write her check.
Until I check, and I will give it back.
Any other correspondence?
Yes, but do you want to do it under any other business?
Any other business that can be brought before the board?
So Marie, I believe sent an email to the entire board, and I never saw a reply back, so I'm trying to see if it was answered on. Because she never got the newsletter that went out in the text, and she wanted to post it on the website, and I thought that the newsletters were supposed to be approved by the board.
Can I answer this? Since the board has never contributed to the newsletter, I got it out, Russ helped me with it, and got the information on it. I was in a hurry to do the tax bills, we got it in there, Russ asked me for copies, I gave Russ copies. Marie and I had talked, I had in full intention of getting it to her, but you know, it's tax time. And I've been a little bit busy with tax time. You got it today, did you not, Marie?
It's posted.
I don't see what the big problem is. You guys have never even once responded, hey, I read it all and it's great.
That's not true.
Yeah, that's fun.
So I know.
I heard you guys say you've never even read a newsletter. I've heard this all. So I did not rush out to get it to you guys. I did my job, I got it out. There was no contribution from anybody. I don't know why it's a problem today.
Did you ask for contribution?
Cause I would read it.
I'm asking you.
I don't know.
Not this time, no. I was a little busy with taxes. You and everybody else wanted something to go out. I got it together.
I did, I wanted something to go out with the tax bill.
Russ, did it not cover the festival?
It did, not the expectation, but yes.
I asked him for information and got nothing. 6 months ago, y'all would not have said a word about this. Today you do. Explain that to me. That's true.
So
Everyone else here knows.
anyways, what I am proposing is that, Marie has offered to do the newsletter but quarterly, not monthly. So I do not know if I would make a motion to do so, or what would the pleasure be?
I think we could just do it. I mean, if that makes sense. Were you formatting it previously?
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. Let's take it off from Heidi's desk and move it to Marie. She's the webmaster anyways.
But as we need information to go and we'll reach out to the board and the board.
Will need to be responsible.
Right.
Yes. And we'll get Mary on it.
I don't wanna get involved in you guys' political shit.
Sorry. So you're fine, you're motion.
I don't think so.
That's all I have.
Motion to adjourn.
But I don't have it. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
You guys don't get the blue suits yet? You guys ain't got the blue suits yet? Oh, black. Still funny. I guess it separates you guys from each other. Thank you.
Okay, that's it.
Porter Bell and 9 Mile and put 9 Mile. And we pulled a motorcycle.
There you have it, folks. Another meeting down. Very interesting. There is some animosity between some board members, it seems like, and I hope they work it out. You all know, see my videos from up in Edenville. We know where that goes. Not very good. I'm actually happy to say Edenville's running their meetings pretty legit and on time now, and everything gets done. You know, animosity has nothing to do with what's going on here. Personal feelings. They need to leave that stuff outside the door, come in and do their job. That's it. If they don't want to do their job, then they need to step away. That's my opinion. But anyways, that was a long one. And hope you guys stay tuned for the next video when I get around to it. Don't know where I'll be next time. Might, not sure yet. We'll see what happens, see who's around, see what's going on. We'll pay attention to social media on all this, see what happens. And thank you all for watching. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe, share. Place a comment down below. Whatever, you know, you guys drive me to do this. You guys keep me going. So we'll get back at you when we get around to another one. Do have some other videos waiting to post. They have legal matters going on with them. So we'll get around to them as soon as I get the clarification from the attorney that I can post them. But other than that, you guys be safe. Have a good week. Have a good week. And I'll see you on the next one. Beautiful day out here. Beautiful evening. Lee Township, Michigan.